All right, here we go, boys. In 3, 2. Hey there, everyone. Welcome to the next episode of the Paddle Talk Podcast. We are back. Great show for you this week. Got some really good discussion. We have results from the Avenal race as well as the Dome Valley race, a little R3 race, very early season race from Silverback Off-Road Speedway as well. Great stuff to talk about. And we're even going to talk about a little news you can use and throw a little discussion in there as well. So get belted in, stay tight, and stay ready. And we've got a great show for you. And just a reminder as well, this episode, just like every episode, brought to you by our friends at Racing in the Dirt. With over 50 years of combined competition experience, they are ready to help you make your dreams a reality. From on-site welding and fabrication to bolt-ons, tires, wheels, you name it. From bare chassis to full turnkey cars, Scott and the crew are ready to make it happen. Find them on Facebook, or you can find them at racinginthedirt.com. Located in Cleveland, Wisconsin, they UPS daily. Racing in the Dirt. All right, gentlemen, I am joined by Mr. Billy Teeters, Mr. Damian Bowers, and Mr. John Sorg, our newest 2025 race winner. We'll get more to that in just a second. So, gentlemen, how are we doing tonight, and what are we looking like for this week?
We are looking pretty good.
That's a good one.
We're looking pretty good. Thunder Valley's race got rained out. They already called that off because of the rain from last night and today. Unfortunate first points race this season that they were going to try to do, and it's already rained out.
I mean, that track's probably still been underwater since that big storm that had everything underwater here in Ohio, ain't it?
Sometimes we'd be boat racing out there, so
you might get more in a season.
Yeah.
Hey, man, you could just dig it out and do some drag boat stuff.
Right. Go where the money's at.
Exactly. Motorsports Park.
There you go.
Get some jet boat racing going on in the oval track.
I like it.
Dude, I don't know, man, but we're at Silverback this weekend, and it was cold, man. It was absolutely cold. Friday was brutal. I mean,
yeah, for anybody that wasn't around the Michigan area, it was not the greatest weekend. I mean, granted, it's always a good weekend to have a race, but that Friday, Saturday was definitely chilly. And I mean, let's face it, though, you're like last weekend in April. I mean, it's not exactly known for being, 75 and sunny, right?
No, it's kind of a dicey time, but I mean, it's one of those things that give or take, and Mother Nature will giveth or will taketh. And, well, it'll give us some rain and some cold air and take us the warmth.
Absolutely. Before we get to that, though, speaking of giveth and taketh, a little not so hot news this week was the fact that Rhodes Raceway possibly could be done. This is, for those of you that are not familiar, this is a little track over kind of on the east side of Michigan, has hosted maybe like 2 events a year for the last couple of years. I've been there a couple of times, always enjoyed myself. They do mostly, actually all heads-up racing, divided up by some different class stuff and that sort of thing. So nice small track, always an enjoyable time. But Brett Whitty, who was the kind of the driving force behind it, passed away earlier this winter. And apparently the neighbors have decided that it's time, that they were sick of it. And they were trying to put together a memorial race for Brett coming up here the 17th of May. And apparently the township board decided to step in and tell them that was not going to happen. Gentlemen, reactions. What do we think about that?
Well, I got some context for everybody that's listening. Here's the post that I learned everything from about. Chris Davis posted this on the Rhodes Raceway public group, and just judging from the cover photo, the lanes look narrow, but it looks like a decent place to go racing, to be honest.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, Chris Davis posted, "We are going to have to cancel the race day scheduled for May 17th due to whiny crybaby neighbors. We most likely won't be having any more events, but you're welcome to comment on this post if you'd like an invitation to come play in the future. They can shut us down, but they can't shut us up." Interesting way of putting it. Hopefully, I don't know. I don't really know what all is going on, but
Sounds like it sucks. Neighbors
it does.
suck.
Well, and what's surprising is it's not like in a subdivision. I mean, this isn't a very rural area. To be fair, the post office, which is about the size of my garage, seriously, it's like a 24 by 24 building, is less than a mile up the road. I mean, it's tiny. So, I mean, you've got this very rural area, and I mean, let's be fair, this thing's not drawing 2,000 people. So I'm not sure what the big yank is with the neighbors. Kind of disappointed actually that they're trying to do a memorial race, possibly kind of a last deal, type of thing, and instead
To honor their neighbor.
Yeah, exactly. For the guy that owned the property and everything else, and
What do they
instead
mean
the
by
neighbors are
neighbors?
basically like, "You suck."
What do they mean by neighbors? Are they residential or is it what is it?
No, it's
That's all
very
it said was
rural.
neighbors.
Yeah.
Now, on the note of that is something that just recently happened within Iowa on this kind of note. Iowa unanimously passed a bill that if you build home near a racing facility, you are not allowed to complain by
Excellent.
law.
Dude,
They need to put that law into place in more states.
Is
Agree.
this in-
That's the point of bringing that up.
Absolutely.
is this in a dude's backyard?
Yes.
That's
A lot
fucking
of there's a
awesome.
few tracks around. Phil's was one of the more infamous ones. That's basically right behind the guy's shop.
And Phil still runs.
Yeah.
I mean,
Dude,
to be fair,
freaking-
even
one of
Doe
the fast-
Bailey's more or less in Ernesto's backyard, right? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, and Jeff Gio's track's basically in I think it's
His
his
back
dad's
40.
backyard or his dad's backyard or something like that. It's literally right there. It's crazy. But yeah, it's this dude's track is. I'm looking at the Google images after putting in the address on the flyer. He's got a bunch of space. I can see why I guess this place got some good potential. He gets shit from the neighbors. Do they run late? Is that it, or is it just
no, because they don't have any lights.
Oh,
You can't run late if you don't have lights.
Yeah, I agree with that. What I don't understand it.
No,
People are crazy.
I agree. And to be fair, the only neighbors that were really close, a couple of them had trucks that were there. I mean, literally, I watched one drive off their property onto Brett's property to run at the race. I mean, I'm not sure what the problem is there. So yeah, I'm really disappointed. I mean,
I see there's a church right down the road. I don't know if that has anything to do with it.
This is a track that was legitimately a bit closer to you to go and doing some testing and tuning for if you're wanting to go like to Silverback, wasn't it?
No, it was like almost 3 hours away.
Oh.
By the time you
kind
of, because there's not a really good way to get there as far as, it's not like really close to an interstate or something like that. So, I mean, you got to do a bunch of back road. But here's what I'll tell you. It was a lot of fun. Okay. It was like, $5 a piece for spectators. It was $20 per class, or no, sorry, 30 per class. Second class was 20. So, I mean, if you want to run two classes, you can run two classes for $50. I mean, that's pretty budget.
Oh, hey, Dave's here. Dave.
Well, at least Dave's tire is here.
Yeah. It's a polished wheel, too.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah. Dave, we're talking about some track in Michigan is possibly getting shut down because their neighbors are crying because this track's in some dude's backyard. And big backyard, by the way. And
you know what I say? Move.
I'm just wondering, like, that's a good point, John. But I'm just wondering if his neighbors, because this is interesting. I wonder if his neighbors that are complaining have like farm animals or something like that. Because, like I said, look on these Google images here. There's a bunch of space between him and his neighbors.
Yeah,
except for the one right across the street. But still, I mean.
But I mean, it wasn't like the dude did. It wasn't even once a month. I mean, we're talking like 3-4 events a year.
Yeah, that's nothing.
I would think I mean, I guess, I don't know. I way lean towards if you own your property, I'm very down with it. You should be able to do whatever you want on it as long as it's, you're not trying to kill people or something like that. I mean, I don't get it. But Applegate, what you got?
So I came in late in the pod, so I may have missed a little bit.
Yes, you did. Your tardiness will be addressed in between sessions here. So,
Yeah.
all right, keep going.
All right. But I've always thought of this, and you guys may have already said this, all right? And I don't know the situation up there, but you get someone or a family that moves in next to an airport, next to a racetrack, next to a factory, next to whatever. They knew it when they moved there. Is it possible that this person just moved there and now they're complaining? I don't get it. I mean,
I don't know. Here's what I'll say. You know what? If Chris Davis or anybody else associated with the track wants to get in touch with us, even somewhat anonymously, and kind of give us some background on it, we'd love to hear it.
We would love to
'Cause-
clarify.
Exactly, because
The information we have right now is due to whiny crybaby neighbors
yes,
for Chris Davis.
that is
I'm
literally
sure there's
it.
a lot
So-
more context. With
So
that.
we are more than open to, if somebody can come on and explain kind of a little more in depth what's going on. If there's a way to, help, I mean, we'd really like to know, because this is the kind of thing that we don't like. Not on board with this. No bueno. Very not cool. So anyway,
Maybe push for more states to have that law like Iowa.
I love that idea. I'm pretty sure our state with our governor probably is not going that direction, but it'd be nice if that happened as well. So
Right.
well, wouldn't you think too that, again, I don't know how big this community is, but if you have something going on like that, you're bringing people to your community, which is buying gas, buying groceries, whatever it might be, it's helping that area, right? Wouldn't you think? I mean, why would they,
I-
you know?
I agree. I don't know, man. You're all. I mean, I feel like everything we've said is pretty accurate, and it's kind of a head scratcher. So
Yeah, it
very
looks like I said, it's a dope. It looks like just from what I see, it looks like a dope place to go to, and it sucks
Yep.
that they have to deal with whiny crybaby neighbors, because I've never had to deal with that problem. So
yeah,
John
it's
has.
definitely
You had too, Isaac. Actually, you guys had
What's
to deal
that?
with that whiny crybaby neighbors at one point.
yes.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah.
On that note, though, if you're looking for a place to test and tune this coming weekend, May 3, there is an open test and tune at Greens. This is Michigan Greens without the E, not Greens in the Carolinas down by Dave.
The track that's hosting an NHRA dirt drag series race, right?
No, it most definitely is not. But you know what? They could pull it off. I'm just saying. So
Yeah.
anyway, they're hosting an open test and tune this coming weekend. You can pay your yearly dues to be a member there. That allows you to not have to pay that when you go there to race again this summer. And I don't know what the cost is. I think I saw like $25 or something like that, which, let's face it, I mean, if you get a good 5-6 hours of test and tune, if the weather's decent, $25 is a pretty budget way to go.
Yeah, you get some good laps in 6 hours.
Absolutely.
Are you going?
So anyway, what's that?
You plan on going to Greens at all this year?
Not with the dragster.
You're gonna go, John?
No, I said not with a dragster.
Oh, you're talking about Isaac.
It's possible. I could see myself going there to test. Sure. I'm not going this weekend.
Oh, okay.
No. This weekend I am never mind. I'm on call for work. We'll just leave it at that. So
There you go. You're on
Oh,
call.
yeah. So anyway, it's my spring suffering. But anyway, that's beside the point. All right. Anyway. But yeah, so good opportunity though. If you're looking to make some laps, I mean, the weather's looking pretty decent Saturday in Michigan here, and might be worth a trip over there to, like I said, make some laps, get your, and who knows, if it goes well, come back and give it a shot at one of their races this summer. So hopefully, again, here's another pitch. If somebody from Greens wants to come on so we can talk a little bit about it and, kind of throw your schedule and stuff out there, come on, man, let's talk about it. We love our local tracks. I mean, that's what it boils down to. So, and like I said, I'd be really interested to hear more about the possible timing system purchase. That's what I really want to know about.
That's
But
what we
anyway,
all wanna know about.
if somebody's willing to come on there, Joe Katie or somebody from the track, please reach out and get in touch with, well, any of us, and we'll make it happen. So,
And I promise I won't say a word during the.
there you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
Billy will be on mute the whole time. So,
Yes.
all right. Anything else? What else have we had going on?
I got something that we can kind of tie this into the start of the R3 preview, or excuse me, R3 recap from Silverback this past weekend. The
Don't stutter.
does Doug Vinlett really have the track record at Silverback?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Because Scott Shias seems to think different. And
yeah, I mean, you know, when you had one and it gets taken away, sometimes it's hard to part ways. It's kind of like, you know, when family member passes away or something, you know, you lost that record, you lost that feeling, and you're hurt. It's gone.
you know, I'll put this in context for listeners. Scott Shiat, West Michigan legend. I'll say that in the sport so far.
That's fair.
He's very well known. Used to race the Bad Frog car, which is what he set the record in, right? He was driving it. Am I right?
Actually, it was Rob.
Yes.
It was Rob driving. Okay, my bad. So his brother was driving it. He set the record. What year did he set the record? Anybody know that?
Ooh, that was the 2000s. Help me out, Isaac. 6-ish?
I was going to say 5 or 6.
Okay. So 2005.
Somebody correct me if we're wrong, but that's let's just say that's the general time frame.
Okay, so
Yes.
circa 2005, 2006.
Yeah.
Scott and Rob Shiat set the track record at 262. And then last year, Doug Vinlett and his crew, including John here, go and set the new record. What was it? What is it? I don't even know what it is. What is it now?
251?
251, like crushed it by a 10th. And there was speculation after that. And then you guys go out there for some test and tune. And or whatever. Did he race? He didn't race, did he? He went out there for some test and tune. And then Scott Shiat makes this post. After this weekend, it's pretty clear this record still stands. And he shares the video of his record-breaking pass, or his and Rob's record-breaking pass. And then I didn't understand it at first. And we don't have to spend a bunch of time on this. I didn't understand it at first. And then Doug Vinlett says, yeah, you're probably right. After blowing the burst panel at 150 foot, that's a good way to judge it. John, you were there.
Well, let's just straight up call it what it is. That was a shot. That was Scott taking a shot at Doug, saying that, buddy, you're not the record holder. I'm the record holder, or my car was the record holder. That's what that literally says to me, if I'm reading that right. Does anybody disagree with that?
I mean, that's basically what it's what it sounds like to me.
And the post, Scott's saying judging it off this past weekend. Well, how do you judge it off the past weekend when the guy goes out, makes 3 runs with mechanical issues, blows out burst panels at 150 feet, runs 280 at 80 mile an hour, and you want to say that it's a fluke? I mean, that's what it boils down to. And they don't believe it's the record. I have my own opinion. I've seen timelines. I've seen the computer data. I can assure you that record's a record.
Well, I have deep sources and at Michigan, and who's, he was there when the Shiats broke the record. He was there when Doug broke the record, and he's very knowledgeable, and he seems to believe that everything is legit. So I'm gonna take my source's word for it, and yeah, I personally think Doug's record is legit after you look at the data from it, and I just think it's crazy what you can do with technology now that makes you go that much faster.
Chum actually made a video of Scott's run and Doug's run of the 250 record, both record passes. He starts the video when they crack the tire. When Doug is at the finish line, Rob is not even quite to the finish or the mile per hour cone.
Yeah, but Rob's videos is shit. I mean, it's kind of
But you
cool
can
because it
mark it
looks
out
finished,
pretty
but
good.
the
If
video
you
sucks. I mean, it glitches
you
3/4 through the
suck,
way.
Billy. You don't even know what you're talking about.
So before we move on, and before this goes any further down this rabbit hole, yes, Damian Bowers.
One last thing, I kind of agree with Brody's post or comment on this post.
Correct. I
Let's
do
get
too.
a match race going between these two.
I like it.
Well, here's the biggest thing, and I think, and it'll pertain to anybody and everybody. And you can get on Facebook, you can and do whatever you want. You can talk all the shit you want, but I mean, you gotta run them out, man. If you're gonna talk the shit,
Oh yeah,
walk the walk, talk the talk.
two very badass race cars from two separate eras.
Exactly.
So let's leave off with this then. If this is where we're headed with the record and everything else, where does Bob Piante's 248 stand at West Michigan?
That was never
That
set.
happened.
No, it was, but it never stood as a record, ever.
Why not?
Why?
Because he jumped the lights and never backed it up.
Something
Where's
to
the
sit-
video saying that? And he was not allowed to back it up because he went out first round.
I like this.
You're gonna have to talk to somebody else about that because I don't
I'm
remember
just-
that.
We both
How'd he
were
go out
there.
first round? How'd he go
Huh?
out first round and top alcohol?
It was top fuel at that point
Well, either way, how'd he go out first round?
because it went red.
Because he went a 248, it went red?
Mm-hmm.
That makes no sense.
He left the stage beam before the tree activated,
Right.
trying to jump the lights.
Oh, okay.
So,
But it never
did
stood as
jump-
a record. I don't even know why that came up because nobody even heard of that. I've never
Well,
even heard about it.
but it's out there.
It is
But
now.
it was never a record, so why is it even a discussion? It was never.
But why
a track
wasn't
record.
it though?
I don't know. I wasn't there.
We're having that discussion now.
I don't know why it was never a track record. My assumption is it was never backed up. And if you
What
don't
year was
back
that?
it
What
up,
year was that Bob Peony did that?
yeah, let's hear that.
That was probably Johnny. That was probably about the same amount of time that Scott and Rob ran their car.
Bob quit running around 2000.
Eh,
Yeah.
this was after the last time they went. I'm pretty sure this was the last year. What was the last year they went to Prim?
Ew. Probably
They were there in 06.
3 or 2 or
I think it was
5,
later than
2000
that because
no, it was like 2006, 2008.
and I would
Probably.
believe this would be the same timeline. I think you know what.
He
Here's
probably
what we'll
did it
have to
out
do.
there. I'll tell you what, in that time frame, Bob wasn't running at our track. He was running out there only.
You know. So
Dave.
Guys, what about, and I don't know the name.
I'm gonna call Bob and ask him now.
I
I
don't,
got Bob's
I don't-
number. I'll call
Ask
him.
him.
We'll get him on there.
Call him and get back to us. Dave, what did you have to say?
mute
I don't
yourself
know
and
the
call
name.
Bob.
I don't know the guy's name, but I can find out. And maybe you guys know. But Williard at Newtown had a car go in the 40s too.
That happened
Yeah,
when we
yeah,
were out there.
Yeah, that's when me and Damian and John were
Jim
there. That was
Hammond went
Jim
a
Hammond.
242, I want to say, right off the trailer, and could not get back into the 40s all weekend.
Okay. Okay. So that's why. Okay. All right. Good. Good. Okay.
Which-
I'm
Yeah,
following you on-
he had that thing on kill. And
Seeing
then-
a car do that in person from trackside is like putting reality on fast forward.
Johnny, you got a
Kind of
report
like,
for
kind of
us?
like Billy's.
I got
kinda
no
like Billy's
answer, but I
new
will get back to you.
All right,
I
I
promise
like
you.
this,
No,
man.
Dave, go ahead and say what you're going to say because I agree.
I want to know
Well,
about it now.
well, hold on, John. Hold on, John.
I got you,
Damian-
brother.
Damien said something about, what did you just say, Damien?
Watching Jim Hammond run that 42 at Newtown was like putting
48,
reality on
45.
fast forward.
Hold on, John. Hold on, John. Say it again. Say it again.
Making
Holy
Billy
shit.
have all this work now.
John, put that dude on freaking mute. Go ahead, Damien.
I said watching Jim Hammond run that 42 at Newtown was like putting reality in fast forward.
So kind of like Billy Teeter's mini bike.
Yeah.
Put reality on slow motion.
No,
I agree.
no,
I agree.
no.
Damien
I call
knows all about
bullshit.
that.
I call bullshit. Jim Hammond ain't got shit on that mini bike.
Hey, don't be
I
I'm sorry, man.
don't be writing
Wow.
checks for me, John. I can't back that up. Don't
I
be
don't know
writing
how
checks
much
for me,
nitrogen
John.
Billy had in that gas tank, but it was something mean.
Dude, no, I'm just saying, I guarantee you, if you have a video camera on Jim Hammond when Billy rides by on that mini bike, Jim Hammond is eyeballing him the whole way through. He's like, that's Billy, and that's a badass bike.
He's probably like, I'll beat the shit out of that damn thing.
Oh God, I want to see that match race. It's like Cruz Pedregon versus the trophy truck.
There you go.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was cool. Yeah.
That
It
was
was cool.
excellent, I gotta say. All right. So let's move off of that onto more recent events at Silverback Off-Road Speedway. The R3 Race Repeat Rebuild race from this past weekend. Aside from the Arctic cold blast that came through, it sounded like a really good weekend. There was test and tune. There was side-by-side short course. There was side-by-side drag racing. There was an open bracket. There was a quick 16. And there may have even been some pit bike racing. So John Sword was on site. Johnny, how was the weekend besides the Arctic cold snap? And
Besides the Arctic cold snap, man, it was one hell of a weekend. I mean,
yeah,
everybody was having fun despite the weather. Everybody had a great time. There was fires going, people hanging out, drinking beer, hanging out in the pits, talking to people. It was really fun. I ran into a lot of people I hadn't seen in years, so I had a great time.
and it was free spectators. It looked like there was a ton of people there. Now, to be fair, like I said, a lot of the somewhat, I know everybody's seen the drone picture and stuff like that. There is a ton of trailers there that are the Silverback RV rental trailers being stored there for the winter. So don't get super excited at some of the trailers that are there and everything else. However, there is a ton of spectator cars there, and it looked like a really good time with some really interesting stuff. So how was the short course stuff? Was that pretty cool?
The short course stuff, it really was cool. I mean, they come up the ramp, they jumped up the hill, they went back in the woods a little bit, come down in front of everybody, do a few jumps and turns, and it was a good time to watch. They had, I bet you they had probably close to 40 participants.
Wow, that's
It was
cool.
huge. It took 2 more hours than expected to get through them all.
I did see that possibly there was a fair amount of time there that was unexpected, but yeah, that's one of those things where you can't really plan for how many people are going to show up. You can only do the best with what you got, and that is what it is. So
no,
right.
them course guys showed up in full force, so that was good to see. I mean, it was a neat show. It really was. They did a good job.
All right, so let's talk about some of that. So on the short course stuff, the natural aspirated side by side short course, your winner was Pat King. Now we don't particularly know Pat, but hey, congratulations, because that's pretty cool. And then they had a turbo side by side short course class, and that was won by Mason Robichaud. I think is how you say his name.
Oh, you got me.
I think it is.
You did good.
Robichaud. I just got a visit from the cat in case you didn't notice. So anyway,
I thought you were trying
congratulations on both those guys. I mean, that short course stuff is really cool to watch.
It really was. It was neat.
That's what I really liked about the drone picture is you could see the whole short course kind of laid out up into the woods and stuff, and it looked like a really, really sweet thing. So, all right. So our side by side quick 16 winner was Alex Kolpak. Kolpacki. Okay, thanks, Dave.
Yep.
And second place was Bradley Sarah.
Yep.
So,
Phil and Bradley Sarah. Yep.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I should have asked. Dave probably knows both these guys decently well, and when it comes to that.
Absolutely.
The quick 16 turned into a quick 6. Now, John, you were there. Can you remember who our participants were in the quick 6?
I remember Roger Gerio. I remember Maddie. I can't remember her last name. And then I remember, what's it? Swagger? Was that his name,
Steven
Damien?
Swagger.
Yes.
Steven Swagger.
Trying Trout Racing and
Barrett, Todd Barrett, Doug Van Lett, and then
Donovan Lattimore and
Donovan Lattimore, yes,
and
in Terry
Vogel.
Wise's car. Huh?
Did Vogel run this quick 6 too?
Yes.
Okay.
Wait, no, he wasn't there. No,
Did
He was only there Friday night.
he only ran
Did-
Friday night.
Oh,
Did Van Vielen show up with the S10?
No, he went to a car show. He's like, man, I wish I'd have known people were going.
Wow, Van Vielen.
I know. Shout out to John, but you messed up.
yeah. He's still got a sweet creamsicle though, so it's all right.
He does.
Okay.
He does.
So our winner was Mr. Steven Swagger with the all-conquering big block Ford-powered Bronco. Second place was Donovan Lattimore driving Terry Wise's car, so that's really cool to see.
Yeah.
Donovan Lattimore Racing Engines, your engine builder for both Boof and Terry Wise, so
That's
that was
pretty
cool.
sick.
Huh?
Yeah.
That's pretty sick. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah.
very much so. So, all right, and on to the open bracket class. Now, before we get to that, I
Oh, boy.
feel like, somebody here may have taken advantage of some younger people to find his way to a check. I mean, come on, Johnny, really?
Sam Baker. Sam Baker.
You know, you take them as they come. They put a big check out there and they said, come and get it. And I'm like, man, I'm gonna do what I can. But you know what was cool is we had a lot of our regular Silver Lake hard hitters in there. I had to run through a couple of them, and in fact I met John DeBoer in the finals, and that
I
was a
tell
hell
you
of a
what.
race.
We've both seen John DeBoer grow up, come through juniors and everything else. John DeBoer is not a pushover by any stretch of the imagination. Good to see him get to a final. Kind of surprised.
Dude, them guys, I got to give them a shout out because them guys bust their tails week in and week out. I watch them guys work on their car, on the computer, doing everything they can to get an edge on somebody, and it's paying off for them. They're going to be hard hitters, big time.
Yes, kind of wondering where the new car is, but we'll get
It's
to that
coming.
some other time. So it wasn't there, was it?
No, but I have heard word it is coming.
Excellent. Good deal. Good deal. Be glad to see that out. So if you haven't figured it out yet, the open bracket winner was our own John Sorg, starting his 2025 season pretty much where he left off in 2024. And Mr. John DeBoer in the DeBoer family Jeep coming in second. So great job by both those guys. And yeah, Johnny, I would say based on from what you've said, a weekend maybe people should kind of look for a little more next year, right?
I would. I'd like to see the car participants climb a little bit more. You know, we're outnumbered about, 2 to 10. So yeah, our car guys are a little short on firepower there, but we prevailed on, fortunately. But it was a good time.
And
Really?
free spectators. I mean, come on. If you want to come check out the track and the concession stand and stuff, that's a really easy way to do it. So, Billy
Yeah,
Teeters,
the
I
free
saw your hand up.
spectators
What were
great.
you?
John DeBoer drives that black Jeep, right? That's
Correct.
what you got,
Yes.
the family Jeep.
Yes.
I think it's gorgeous. I think it's awesome. That's all I had.
Okay.
Oh, Steven Swagger's racing a dirt customer. Wanted to shout that out too.
Yes, definitely shout out to that. So, and that thing seems to go rounds every place they go with it. So,
Were both quick 16 classes heads up?
Yes.
That's awesome.
David
Yeah.
Applegate.
Yeah, so real quick, John had mentioned about, a little bit of a sort of a lower full-size car count, if you will. But if you think about it, that race, and we don't want to get into this, but that used to be the old side-by-side blog, and then some guys, moved it on over, and now it's called R3. So a lot of people may think when that comes up, it's just side-by-sides. You know what I mean? That might have been why maybe it was a little bit light on the cars, John, do you think?
I agree with you, Dave. I think that's probably the biggest part is trying to learn for people to understand that they are crossing over, where the side-by-side blog didn't. These guys did. So it's really cool to see them mixed up with them.
Yeah, people
Right.
are probably still waiting on a 2JZ powered razor to show up and shit.
I was waiting for that and I did not see it.
Well,
Yeah.
I think that's the guy who got X'd out, right? The other guys just went did their own thing, and the guy who
Oh, I didn't realize that.
That Doug guy's not part of it anymore, I'm guessing.
There's a big story on that, and we may not want to even get into that. So I would
Yeah.
We can
probably
discuss that
just
off
like,
the cast.
yeah,
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 another show, another
I wouldn't
show.
go down that road. I wouldn't go
Another
down that
show.
Whatever. We're news. They can eat it.
Yeah, it's
If
yeah,
they don't want us to talk about it, don't make it public.
I
that's
know
right.
But yeah,
Doug,
R3 was good then, John.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
sorry,
I said,
Dave.
it was a good time. Nick Leonard and Frankie J did a great job putting on the show and getting everybody together. It was definitely a good time, and I hope to see more people there again and pack the house this fall.
Oh,
Okay,
so there's
Damien,
another one coming up this fall then.
There will be a Fall
Yeah.
Fury, and if I'm not mistaken, it's the first weekend of October. But
Okay.
don't quote me. I need to go into my calendar and look. I think Billy's looking right now, if I'm not mistaken.
Damian Bowers, while that happens, what are you thinking?
now with the quick six cars, I noticed Doug Vinlet there. I seen some pictures of him running Swagger and a big red light come up on the board. From what I had been told, he'd been having issues with the burst panel all day, Vinlet, and then with the red light there, someone ran over their front wing at the track.
Yep.
Oh,
The guy backing up the tow car ended up backing up, and there's a staging plate that helps keep the car in beams, and it ended up being a victim of the backup. So we had to wing it, and Doug kind of lost his train of thought when all that happened, and instead of holding off for green and waiting, he ended up letting her rip on the thing, and it red lit him.
Damn.
that sucks.
October 3rd
Yep.
through 4th is R3 Fall for Fury. I said Fury, Furry.
Now-
Fall
Furry, I'm
Fury.
not-
Definitely some really impressive numbers put up Friday night in the testing tune as well from some more of the door slammer crowd.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
can't
what was
wait
it?
to see that Barrett Jeep at Pro Truck Elite later this summer. That
Yeah.
thing is
He's gonna have to put
bad.
some more to it, but he's getting there.
That thing
Yes,
is ripping
definitely.
it's ripping.
From
It
what
is.
Swagger
It is.
said with their Bronco, it was running on 7 cylinders, running 330s up there. If you see any videos of it, it looked like a train going down through there, smoking. Obviously you got Scott Vogel and Nick DeBoer both dipping into the 60s and 50s respectively, getting closer and closer to the 40s. And those are the heavier vehicles in the crowd there with small block, well, both LS powered.
Absolutely. No, excited, man. I tell you what, it's going to be something else. And, that is going to be a heck of a Friday night there at Silverback Off-Road Speedway. So, all right. Well, that is going to wrap. Yes, Dave, last word.
Real quick, John, did Brett and Brody get a chance to get the Bronco out since they rebuilt it?
They did not.
They did not. Okay, that's all I wanted
Nope,
to
they
know
did
if they
not.
had a chance to get it out. All right, cool.
Yep.
All right, go ahead, Isaac. Finish this out.
All right. No, very good, guys. Let's wrap this up and move on to what else we've got. So, Billy Teeters.
Some breaking news here before we get started with our recaps from the races this past weekend. This is just after all the recordings is done. So here it is. Albany Sand Drags in Albany, Oregon, announcing that they are no longer having a sand drag season this coming season for the 2025 year. And the official post by Albany: Dear Albany Sand Drag racers and supporters, I'm saddened to announce that we will have to cancel our upcoming sand drag season. A few weeks after posting our summer series schedule, I was informed by my insurance provider that my policy no longer covers drag racing events. I spent the past couple of months trying to find a solution, but unfortunately, due to circumstances out of my control, I am unable to find a solution. This was not an easy decision, and I truly appreciate everyone's support and am very sorry for any inconvenience that this has brought to anyone. I'm hopeful that I can work out a solution and bring sand drags back next season. Thanks for understanding, Ryan Leach, Albany Sand Drags. So I know there's a few people, including myself, that's already reached out and given some information of other insurance companies that might be able to help them for this season. So hopefully we get some new developments with that next episode. But our hearts go out to the racers and the track staff of Albany Sand Drags, especially Ryan here, who did everything he could to try to get a season going for these guys. So hopefully we hear, like as I said, hopefully we hear something good news about them getting a new insurance provider or something like that. But really hoping these racers from Albany still stick in there, whether they go racing still or not. This is just very sad to see. So hopefully this track can keep going just after a little bump in the road here, and hopefully they don't lose the season, but it may just look to be that way. But we're still being hopeful. Anything they need, we already said that we'll be more than happy to help them out with. So yeah, there's some breaking news for you. All right, back to the race recaps. Okay, well, coming up next, we will be talking about either Dome Valley or Avenal race that just happened this past weekend. But before we do that, got a couple ad reads for you here. And we're going to start off with our race at Shelton's Dirt Drags, the Bluegrass Shootout. I went to the wrong notes in my phone. So that is May 29th, 30th, and 31st at Shelton's Dirt Drags in Stanford, Kentucky, 1 Yates Road, Stanford, Kentucky. And it is going to be a blast. We actually teamed up with Southern Power Sports Drag Racing Series this year. That's Dave right there, who you just seen, who we teamed up with this year. And we're appreciative of that. Classes, we got a bunch of bracket racing classes. We got some pro staggered start classes. We have heads up classes, index classes. It's going to be a ball. It's $15 a day at the gate unless you're 10 years and younger, then it is free. Thursday we're going to run test and tune for about 7 hours, and then Friday we're going to do test and tune for half the day, and then we're going to race Friday night. We're doing the first ever 295 challenge, where it's off the trailer 295 index racing, which will also count for your qualifying for Saturday's show. It's going to be a ball. Dave has his 4x4 ATVs Pro Mod and side-by-side Pro Mods running on Friday night. Dave, what we got to look forward to? Quick preview with that.
So real quick, you 295 guys, I was able to get a sponsor for you guys. So at this race, we have an extra $1,000 going to the 295 guys. We also will have side-by-side Outlaw, side-by-side Pro Mod, 4x4 ATV Outlaw, and 4x4 ATV Pro Mod. Pro Mod in the ATVs is our naturally aspirated. And then the rest of the classes that, which we've got some news to share here very soon, can't do it this evening, and I haven't even told Billy yet. So y'all hearing it for the first time, and not even Billy, but we got some special things going on that we're going to be adding to that race.
Yeah.
So, yep, just stay tuned. There's going to be some stuff coming up for a lot of the classes there. So you got to come out to this one. If it doesn't matter what you got, if you've got Billy Teeter's little mini bike, there is somewhere for you to race at this event. So yeah, I'm very excited about it. Billy, anything else we want to add to this?
Yes. Yeah. Saturday, kids bracket race on Saturday. Future of the sport. Come watch the kids. And then we got more bracket racing for cars and ATVs, more pro classes for cars and ATVs, a bunch of index racing. We got 395 index, 350 index, and then you're going to see your side-by-side Outlaws, 4x4 ATV Outlaws on Saturday, and then our big dogs 295 index as well. Once again, Bluegrass Shootout, Stanford, Kentucky, Shelton's Dirt Drags, presented by World Sand Drag News and Southern Power Sports Drag Racing Series. And now we're moving on to Dome Valley.
All right, everybody. The Dome Valley recap is going to be brought to you by Southern Power Sports Drag Racing Series. We're going to go over it really quick for right now. We have 6 races this year in 5 states. We have Shelton's Dirt Drags, Silverback Off-Road Speedway, Newtown Dragway, Tri-County Four-Wheelers, Gravel Rama, or IOK, I guess, Lumber River Sand Drags. We have multiple sponsors that we would get to at a later time. But right now, please go to Southern Power Sports Drag Racing Series on Facebook or spdrs.events. Now, the website is on the dyno right now, if you will. It's getting updated, so bear with us on that. But we're definitely looking forward to seeing everybody, and we have some really big news coming out with the amount of cash and prizes. Is probably going to surprise a lot of people. From there, we're getting ready to go to Dome.
All right. So this past weekend, they were racing in Dome Valley, Arizona at the Copper State Shootout. While we didn't have anybody on site, the track was very generous and provided some really good results from the weekend. So we're going to kind of go through those, go over that. And, as I was looking through them, some really familiar names and kind of some of the usual suspects started to pop up a little bit. And some of the younger guys as well were making their name known. So let's take a look, gents. What do we have? So starting off with, let's just start off with Saturday, the 450 Index. Who is our winner for Saturday?
So in the 450 Index, and really the list we have, it's not in order by day. I think it's more just, I don't know. It's in some order, but we're just gonna read them to you. 450 Index, your first place winner was Jared Foshi, and your runner-up was Jonathan Avila.
Avila? Yeah,
Avila.
I'd buy that.
Yeah.
So remember, and like we said, 450 Index, run as close to 450 as you can without breaking out. Very similar to the 350 up here in Michigan, more towards the Midwest and stuff like that. So, all right, so moving on. I find this class actually be really cool. 395 ATV Index.
I like it.
And
sorry,
winner was.
Sorry, am I reading them?
Yeah, go
Am I
ahead.
reading all of them?
Yep.
Okay. 395 ATV Index. First place was Shane Crum, and second place was Dominic Pena. Very familiar name. Big Pena fan.
And then we move on to 395 Index cars and trucks and, basically full-size stuff.
Yeah. Looks like Braden Root got the class win. It looked like he took the win in January and March in the class. So he's going to take a big points lead. And then second place was, I'm going to say this wrong, Israel Quintero. Or maybe I said that right. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I believe that is right. Those 555 racing guys have had a bunch of different stuff. I don't know if this 395 was with, I believe they have a dragster and a Jeep possibly. This is where Caleb Mings being on here would help us out.
Yeah, I know, right?
You said Israel Quintero, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Isn't that the guy with the new Larry Meyer Jeep?
Yes.
Yeah, that thing's awesome.
That thing is cool.
Yeah,
very much so.
Messaged me. It's got a 416 small block. They're aiming for teens by the end of the season.
What do they run right now?
I believe he was running in the. I'll have to pull a message up now that you ask me.
All right, well you find that out, and we're gonna keep going.
All right. Next we have Sport One ATVs, which is a Caleb Mings class.
It's
conveniently.
sports. It's Sports One.
Whatever.
It says sports.
That just sounds like you didn't know how to finish your T's and S's off.
Hey.
I'm sorry. That must be a West Coast thing.
I got that information up for Israel.
Right,
and I was wrong on the engine size. It's a 440 small block, not 416. They ran 389. They're changing the gear ratios, aiming for 350s on motor and a 315 with nitrous.
You said teens. That's a big jump. He's
aiming for 350s on motor and teens on nitrous.
Gotcha. Okay.
So that tells me that gear set's way off right now.
Yeah, and those Larry Minor cars are light. The car probably weighs in the 1,600-pound ballpark.
Very true. All right. So Sports One winner was
first place winner was Tyler Hanrahan. Tyler Hanrahan getting the win. He defeats runner-up Dominic Pena. So that's Pena's second runner-up on the weekend, podium twice.
And this is just Saturday. Impressive. Nicely done.
Or whatever day it is, because I don't know what order this is. But
all the sports stuff, sports whatever, is on Saturday, dude.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Okay.
Oh, my word. All right. Now we're on to Sport One cars.
First place winner was Craig Durning.
Craig Durning, shout out to him, man, that rolled his dragster over at the March event.
Yeah.
And comes back with good old Eugene the Jeep and shows the Sport One crowd how it's done.
Dude, okay. Dude, Eugene the Jeep that has to be one of the coolest vehicles in the sport.
right?
That thing is so badass. Have you seen it, John?
No.
That,
You need to show us
how
a
do you even
picture.
how do you even explain it? Like a rear engine Jeep
Red,
looking thing?
red, white, and blue flat fender Jeep
Oh.
with the driver up in the hood.
Yes.
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 That's pretty much it.
That thing's sick.
Yes.
And
It
then
is.
runner
It
up.
also,
Sorry. Go ahead.
and what is also sick is the other one, the other rear engine one. Was it Al?
I
I
know
can't
what you're
remember his
talking
name. What's that?
There's another one just like it, right?
Yeah, with a blown big block in it. That thing is
Oh.
cool as heck.
That
Oh,
would
wow.
be sick. I want to see that.
God dang it. They've got the big Chevy Cameo used to run that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they have that anymore.
Which
They sold it a good number of years ago.
So yeah, Craig Durnan gets the win in Sports 1, and Israel Quintero gets the runner-up once again. So it's Quintero's second runner-up.
making a
on the
move.
weekend.
All right.
Yeah,
So Sport 2 ATV.
you didn't say it right. I wish y'all would have seen that look that Isaac just gave me. All right, Sports 2 ATV. Marcus Rydell getting the win. He gets the win over runner-up Anthony Pierce. Looks like his first race at Dome this weekend based on the points we're looking at here. So
That's cool.
yeah.
And how about Sport 2?
Sports Sports 2. Jared Foshi gets the win. Looks like he's leading the points in that class. Or no, he's runner up in the points, it looks like. Or no, he is leading the points right now. And then runner up is I'm definitely gonna say this wrong. Carlos Carrasco.
Yeah, that sounds
Yeah.
pretty good. Carlos Carrasco. I'd buy that.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. So, and then on to two pretty big classes. We have the Pee-wees and the juniors.
So we have first place in Pee-wee, Nathan Mattis. I'm gonna say that. And then second place, we have Carly Halford.
Yeah. Nathan Mattis, shout out to him, man. He's also leading the points, it looks like.
Yeah, because it looks like it looks like he is.
Yeah.
Good for him. That win is
All
much
right.
needed, it looks like.
Yeah. And then on to the juniors class.
Aubrey Foshi getting the win after her dad got 2 wins so far. Aubrey with that really badass, kick-ass purple go-kart. She gets it done in that.
That thing freaking moves.
It does. I think it runs like 7s or maybe almost to 6s. That thing rips.
It's
like
just shy of doing wheel stands going down the first 60 feet.
I think it's got just like a hawked up 212cc in it. It's freaking sweet. And then second place, shout out to Autumn Carlson for getting second place. That's awesome.
Wait, did we have an all-female junior final?
It looks like it. Yeah.
Shout out, ladies. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Shout out to the ladies for getting it done there.
That's pretty cool. All right. Moving on to Sunday. All right. So let's start with Pro 1 ATV. And look who we have at the top of the sheet.
Oh, the legend, the GOAT himself, Randy Mings, getting it done on the week. Oh, we forgot. We are terrible at this, by the way. Congratulations, Caleb, for having a baby last week.
Whoa.
Well,
Congratulations,
Julia,
like for having a baby. Caleb, you did a good job in support, but we all knew who did all the work there. Let's just cut that right to the charm.
Yes. Shout out to the Mings for having a baby. Julia, you did great from what I was told by Caleb. Caleb did a great job of updating us. And Randy went out there for baby girl and got it done. Randy Mings getting the win in Pro 1 ATV. He gets the win over, I think it's their arch nemesis, Tyler Hanrahan.
Oh,
Tyler, I have not talked to him in person, but maybe twice. But he is a standout kid, and he's always a competitor, and he's very consistent. I'd like to see him on something faster, but he's always competitive. It seems it's always like Caleb or Randy versus Hanrahan, and it's a really fun matchup to watch.
All right. Side note, Caleb Mings, much better baby reporter than Billy Teeters. Caleb Banks kept us updated throughout. Billy Teeters, it just went from we're going to the hospital to what? Oh, we're done.
Yeah.
It was the entirety of it right there.
My process was a lot easier than his.
I trust Caleb way more
Can you
than I
really
trust
say
Billy.
either one of you guys did a whole lot of work? I'm just saying.
Well, listen, okay. We're going off the rails now because you chose to do this, Isaac. They induced her on Monday. They had the baby Wednesday night, Thursday morning, right? We went in for a C-section, and we got there at our appointment was at 7:00. The baby was out in the world at 7:34. It was, and literally, it was on my end. It was a breeze. I'm blessed. Thank you. Shelby crushed it too. She was absolutely amazing. So
That's right. All right. You're going to have to edit a whole bunch of stuff there, but that's all good. All right.
no, we're leaving it. It's pod.
All right. Fine. All right. Pro 2 ATV then. See, Pro 2, not Pros 2, Pro 2.
I wish they would put pros. That would have been awesome. Marcus Rydell getting the win in Pro 2. He gets the win over Alyssa Adkins. And Caleb's still third in points. Look at that.
Well done. All right. Pro 1 cars.
Alejandro Garcia getting the win. He gets the win over Hector Garcia Jr. Or no, sorry. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yes, Hector Garcia Jr.
Absolutely.
So it was I'm guessing they're brothers.
Relation? I don't know.
I don't know.
No clue.
I don't know these two cats, but hey, you know what? Get to the final in Pro 1, nothing to shake a stick at. So, all right,
kidding.
Pro 2 cars then.
Pro 2 cars. First place winner, and looks like it's his third win of the season in the class. Braden Root. This Braden Root dude's a killer.
He
What
is,
does this
man.
what does this dude drive?
I think it's a black Jeep, isn't it?
I gotta find it.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, well
Yeah.
Damien confirm that.
If I remember right, it's a black CJ with a stretched front end, a bit lower to the ground.
Okay.
Sounds that way. Sure.
Brad
And second place?
Olson. Sorry.
Yeah.
Brad Olson getting the runner up. If you don't know what Brad Olson races, he's the guy who took that street bike powered quad and turned it into a mini dragster.
Ah,
It's very
okay.
it's very interesting to look at because
Okay.
he basically just like cut it off from like
At the fork.
right, and then just built a roll cage around it. It was awesome.
It's literally the back half is the quad
Mm-hmm.
with a roll cage built off the nose of it.
Yeah, but it looks clean.
I want to
Looks
see
nice.
pictures. I want to see some more pictures of it.
Okay, well I'm gonna
We'll work on that. Okay.
yeah we'll
Pro
work
3
on that in a
cars.
second. Pro 3. Man, Pro 3 is a lot. Jeffrey, I'm gonna say this wrong. Jeffrey Callis getting first place over David Root.
Yeah, I think it's
In the
supposed to be
Pro 3.
Root.
Root.
Yeah. Yep. I would believe that. So,
Yeah. David Root getting it done.
all right.
And
On to our quote unquote big classes.
no,
So let's talk a little top eliminator here. Top eliminator, and
Tied
can we
field.
talk about our final four before we get to who actually won it? You
Sure.
have Mr. Cody Hoffman in Mike Hoffman's dragster, or Steve Hoffman's dragster, I should say. Kylie Graham in her whiskey business. Isn't that her car?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Car.
No, or is her frisky business? I don't know.
It's
Something
that
like
buggy.
that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
something
You
business.
have Mr. Billy Morris in the heavy metal car who knows his way around a 295 tune-up.
Mhm.
The
And-
double A buggy.
What's that?
I said the double A buggy.
Yes, very much so. And I'm trying to think who was the other car in the final four there for
It
295.
looks like it was Russ Bailey.
Yes, Ross Bailey. That is a heck of a semifinal right there.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, so Cody Hoffman decides he's going to serve a little notice here and puts himself into the final over Billy. And Kylie Graham decides, well, why not? I might as well go to the final two. And Cody Hoffman takes the win. The only 4-cylinder in the field, and he just lays it down and gets to the winner's circle. Congratulations, Cody, man.
I know he like takes the hat off of the A fuel thing and just jumps right in to 295 and just says, "Hey guys, hold my beer. Daddy's home."
I'm not
And
even
takes
sure
the win.
is he old enough to have a beer even?
He's
I'm sure back in the
24.
pits he can get
He's
away with it.
24.
Yeah, he's good then.
He is good, but I tell you what, man, that seems like it seems like it was a fast jump for him from juniors, which he had a prime looking junior car, and now he steps into the smooth sucker and proceeds to lay the beat down on a pretty stout top eliminator field. Let's face it. I mean,
That was a
there was
stout field out there.
Well, dude, this qualifying field was nuts. There was like two 299s, 3 O's from like the 7th qualifier up. It was tight all the way through. And then you really look at this semifinal. Cody Hoffman, Kylie Graham, Billy Morris, Russ Bailey. Russ Bailey, he's a veteran in the sport. Billy Morris, veteran, world record holder. You know, Russ Bailey's former world record holder. Cody Hoffman, I mean, I know he's had some time in the car. He's still fairly new, let's be honest. And
Yeah.
Kylie Graham, still fairly new. I mean, maybe not in racing, but in going fast. She's still fairly new. And
Right.
for these two to get it done, I don't know how they won. I wasn't there. But the fact that they get through this field of competitors in general is insane. And
yeah.
hats off to both of them, really. And I think Cody Hoffman just kind of shown that he can compete in this class. You know, he ain't got no slouches for tuners. We've seen what Steve and his dad's done in the past. Cody's grandfather, you know, we've seen what they've done in the past with this same type of setup. So these guys can definitely get it done. Watch out for Cody Hoffman. And dude, Atoka is going to be a banger because I seen Derek's post for Atoka's top eliminator class and who was confirmed and stuff. It's about to be a banger. We're talking about Wade Powell, Tommy Zavala, Tristan Graham, Cody Hoffman. Like, this is going to be nuts at Atoka.
Wow.
The Schultz
That's gonna
out
be
of
really
Texas.
cool.
Schultz from Texas, Randy Kimley, John Pay. Even when you talk about those guys, then you talk about Russ Bailey, Terry Glasscock from Missouri. Atoka's going to be nuts. But anyway.
So everybody wants to know, Billy, are we having coverage that weekend?
Well, yeah, I'll be there.
Perfect.
We covered that with Derek last week.
I wasn't on last week.
Why not?
Get over it.
What?
I
Oh,
was
wow.
sleeping.
Dude.
All right. Moving on. Top alcohol.
Yeah.
One, Nicholas Schultzman absolutely destroyed that thing.
What
Oh my
happened?
word.
What I seen
Does
the
anybody
video,
know
but
what
I still
happened?
don't know what happened.
I think it lifted head.
Oh shit.
I mean, I mean, unless it's not as bad as it looked, but he seemed to think they heard it pretty good on that pass. So unfortunately, because that was shaping up to be looking pretty good. But so we ended up with 3 cars in top alcohol. Eric Hickey, Mr. Small Block himself is your number 1 qualifier, and then Billy Morris and Mr. Nick Schultzman being your other 2. And your final ends up being Eric Hickey versus Billy Morris, and Eric Hickey takes the win.
Well,
So,
Schultzman didn't even make it
nice.
past qualifying, did he?
No, I don't believe so.
Yeah, so it was Billy Morris. Billy had actually issues at the line. We posted the video of it. He had issues on the line, so Eric just kind of coasted to the win in the final there. So, and that was his top alcohol debut. So good for him.
Yep, Small Block and top alcohol. So congratulations to him. So, and in unlimited ATV, I believe the only person they had was Mike Brock. So
yeah, that's an
anyway,
easy win.
Yep. But looked like a really good race, and yeah, I mean they had a pretty steady crowd there, and some good cars and stuff. So congratulations to them. Congratulations to all the winners, and yeah, I tell you what, not a little off time here for Dome Valley before they come back around later on this fall, but be interesting to see some of these cars getting out to travel a little bit, maybe, and making their way around. So very good, guys, nicely done, and yeah, I think that was. Some really good coverage, and we'll wrap up our coverage there of the Copper State Shootout at Dome Valley Raceway with a little ad read here for our friends at Racing in the Dirt. If your race season is not going the way you want it to, or maybe you're thinking, you know what, I could do that. Well, have we got some friends that can help you out with that? Scott, Shane, and the crew at Racing in the Dirt ready to help you take that next step and maybe even get your car of your own. They are ready from turnkey cars all the way down to components, wheels, tires, chain drives, you name it. Racing in the Dirt ready to help you and your race program. So give them a call today, area code 920-693-2000, or you can find them on Facebook, or you can even go to their website at racinginthedirt.com. That's Racing in the Dirt, sponsoring this episode of the Paddle Talk Podcast.
The Avenal Sand Drags recap is brought to you by the Bluegrass Shootout at Shelton's Dirt Drags. Once again, we are racing there May 29th, 30th, and 31st. We're going to have bracket racing, index racing, heads-up classes, pro tree stagger start classes, kids classes for everybody, ATV cars. When we say cars, we mean dragsters, buggies, even side-by-sides can join in, full-body vehicles of all kinds. Come out and join us. We're running Test and Tune on Thursday, the 29th. Friday, the 30th, we're running Test and Tune half the day, and then we're running a bunch of classes for bracket classes, quick 16 classes, 4x4 ATV, side-by-side pro mod classes, and 295 challenge. Saturday, we're running more bracket racing, pro classes, index classes, side-by-side outlaw, 4x4 ATV outlaw, and the big dogs 295 index are going to be running as well. $15 a day at the gate. Unless you're 10 years old and younger, it is free. And please come join us at Shelton's Dirt Drags May 29th, 30th, and 31st, 1 Yates Road for the Bluegrass Shootout, brought to you by World Sand Drag News and Southern Power Sports Drag Racing Series.
All right, so this next segment is going to be all the Avenal Sand Drags race, also from this past weekend, Northern California. We've got Friday, Saturday, and Sunday list of winners here. So, Damian Bowers, do you have them up in front of you by chance?
No, I do not at the moment.
Okay. All right. So, Friday winners, they had a quick 8 with, it looks like 20, well, possibly 28 cars. I'm not 100% sure. Anyway, your winner was Blaine Oliveira, and second place was Guillermo Jr. Then they had a Pro Gambler Cars, which Bob Cambridge was your winner over Stacy Bolton, driving the Mike Bolton-owned Jeep. Then in Motorcycle Power Gambler, that is bikes and motorcycle power stuff, Tessa Nunez takes the win over Mike Miller. And then in 395 Index, now I'm guessing this is cars based on some of the other results. Chris Wells is going to be your winner over Scotty Burris. So that was their Friday night. They actually had racing Friday night already. And then come to Saturday. Now I heard they even had some wildfire there that the safety crew stopped by like on their way into the track and put some of it out.
Oh, shit.
Craziness going on there. So maybe we'll hear some more of that once we get a little more report here on the Avenal race spring shootout here. All right, so Saturday they had a Pro Gambler, which Mark,
Looks like Van.
yep, Mark Van was our winner over Mr. Chris Wells. And then in Sport 1, Scotty Burris took the win over Chris Wells. So Chris Wells going to the finals in 2 different classes. And then in Sport 2, Mark Van taking the win again. So wins the Pro Gambler and wins Sport 2. And in Sport 2, takes the win over Daniel Arnott. Sport 3 was Logan Avila over Jeff Brox. And then in Motorcycle Sport 1, it's Tessa Nunez over Jonathan Flores. And Motorcycle Sport 2 is Eric Young over Tony Marasini. I believe is how I'm saying it.
I
So, yeah.
think maybe.
That's what it looks like. I buy that.
Yeah. So, all right. So moving on to Sunday. Sunday, pretty good list of classes here as well.
Looking
Sunny.
like a lot of similar names too.
Exactly. I tell you what, yeah, guys that know how to get to the finals. So Pro 1 winner, Mr. Kenny Hayes. How about that?
Damn.
And Kenny, I saw giving a ride to a kid that was having a birthday that weekend and everything else. And shout out to Kenny because one, that's cool as heck to involve next generation of kids, and two, the dude still goes out and wins his class, which is pretty impressive. So Pro 1 winner was Kenny Hayes. Second place was Scotty Burris. Pro 2, Scotty Burris takes the win over Mr. Chris Wells. We saw a bunch of on the Saturday sheet. Pro 3, Mark Van, also making a return appearance from Saturday, taking the win over Natalia Ridnour. Motorcycle Pro 1, Tessa Nunez, who may have won the most rounds of the weekend from the looks of it, takes the win over Mike Miller again, which I believe happened Saturday as well. Motorcycle Pro 2, Eric Young takes the win over Tony Mencaniti. I think so. I'm trying to read the writing here. I believe that's what it says. So, all right. And then we have the juniors. Junior winner was Tanner Cornell over Dax Phillips. And in the kids class, it was Scarlett Soros over Maddox Martin Del Camps, right? Del Campo?
I think that's Guillermo's kid, probably.
Okay. Maddox Martin Del Campo. I hope is how I'm saying it correctly. That's looks how it's spelled out here in the results we got. And then they also ran top eliminator, and your top eliminator winner was Wade Powell with that car that looks very much like, I believe that's the old 401k car, which looks very similar to the car that Nicholas Schultzman has. And he took the win over Mr. Ron Moran in the final. So Wade Powell getting it done. Now without a little bit of drama, though, as I saw they had a header pipe come off and they drove over at the finish line and
on two wheels
bouncing around.
Having a wild ride.
I wish I would have seen a video of that.
Yeah. So, yeah, it looked like Avenal had a really good weekend. Yeah.
So, Isaac, remember last week when we talked about how I thought one of these tracks was going to take a hit somewhere?
Yes.
And it really looks like none of them did.
I don't think it did. I think that this is just my personal opinion. It appears that basically the people that normally go to these tracks, I don't know that anybody traveled. What is kind of interesting, though, Kenny Hayes does have to drive past Dome to get to Avenal. Just saying.
Yeah, he probably already planned it, you know.
I would say so because Kenny's tight with the Adamsons. They usually go to Avenal anyway, so I mean it makes sense. So
plus, he's retired. He can do whatever the hell he wants anyway. So
I mean, when you win as much as Kenny does, you go wherever you feel like.
The biggest hit I would say would be the top eliminator class where Avenal had all that extra money if they got a 16 car field. They did not get that 16 car field.
How many do they have? I'm gonna look it up real quick.
I think they had 8,
and a lot of them were like Martin DeCalm, however they say that last name, or with the or Guillermo with the big Ford F-150 with the Pro Charger motor. He was in the class.
Yeah, I think that thing was. If I saw the qualifying sheet right, I think that thing was down to the 350s, maybe even quicker, wasn't it?
I think I saw a 30, but he had a lot of body panels removed to get there.
Well, I mean, it happens. So
going for that top eliminator class with a big heavy truck, you got to do what you got to do.
Absolutely, dude. No doubt about it. And that thing's cool looking. I mean,
come on.
Full size truck that say you put a couple more body panels on it, you run 350. That's impressive. Yeah.
That truck, Ross's and Rhodes's Jeep would be one of the bigger match races, I think.
Absolutely.
Because you talk about heavyweights with horsepower.
For sure. No, very much so. So, no, I don't think. I mean, I don't think either place really had as big a hit as maybe what we thought it was going to, and I'm really glad about that. I was very concerned that one place was really going to take it hard, and it doesn't sound like that happened at all. So good, kudos to them, and but still, kind of hoping they can kind of work together a little bit, maybe prevent that situation from happening. Say next year.
Right.
All right, Billy, what you got for us?
I was actually answering a work email. I forgot what I was looking up.
Oh, how many cars did they actually have at the
Oh,
Avenal
yeah.
for
Sorry.
top eliminator?
So I had my phone, I typed in Avenal, and I was like, I forgot what I was doing.
Keep your squirrels under control, please.
He's probably had too much of that green tobacco.
That's none of your business, Damien.
I mean, I live in a state where it's not legal yet, so.
All right, we're getting closer to this, folks. Somebody talk about something. I have to look for this.
All right,
It's legal in Ohio now, Damien.
Yeah, but I live in Indiana.
Oh shit, that's right. I forgot. I keep thinking you're from Ohio.
I am in the one state in this entire freaking circle that it's not legal.
Okay,
Oh my God.
so we didn't get a final qualifying order, but we got updated after round 3 qualifying, and there was 8 of them.
And does that include Vicky Hall that was broke?
Correct.
Okay.
Vicky and Damon both breaking their rear ends.
Ugh.
Are you kidding me? Both cars?
Yeah, but
Both
Damon Hall ran
cars.
at 290. That was sick.
Yeah.
That's crazy in that Fiat, dude. That's flying.
Yeah, that's an old Power
Yeah.
Pro style chassis.
Isn't that Dave Stidham's old car? Used to look like a bald eagle style
I
paint
believe
job?
so.
Yeah, that thing is sick.
I didn't know Stidham had that car. Huh, interesting. Things you find out. All right, so more on Avenal, folks. Do we have anything else that interests us that we saw while that was all going on?
No.
Well, I like seeing the Burst showing up a couple times, the Chris Wells showing up a couple times.
Yeah, no doubt.
That kind of stuff where they got some good talent out there going at it.
Yeah, for sure. No, that is good to see. And hey, shout out Tessa Nunez. I don't even know what she rides, and I'm impressed because she was on the sheet multiple times in the motorcycle powered stuff. So
Right.
I mean,
yeah,
that's
good. That's a good thing to bring up. Tessa Nunez entered 3 classes, took home 3 dubs.
Shout out, man.
Good
That's
weekend.
impressive.
Big time.
I don't care how you look at it. So
she runs a I think it's a 421, 425 Banshee. It could be bigger. I don't know. Last I knew it was a 425. But I know it's Mocha powered. Shout out to Sean. Yeah, she does very well. She does very, very well.
yeah, no, impressive. So all right. So that's gonna wrap up our coverage of the Avenal Spring Shootout from Avenal, California.
And we're gonna wrap up the show here, and nothing racing related here, but I saw this on the internet over the weekend, and it's taken the internet by storm. I don't know if y'all seen this. The biggest debate going on right now. Who do you think would win in a fight? One silverback gorilla or 100 men?
100 what?
100 human being men, like 100 dudes
versus
one silverback gorilla. A fight to the death. Who would win?
The 100
Can I ask you a question, Billy? Do you just lay in bed at night, or now that you have feeding things going on in the middle of the night, think about this shit?
No, well, if you were listening beforehand, you would have heard me say that this is the hottest debate going on right now from everybody. And I can understand where people say where the gorilla would win, because automatically, like, the first person running up to the gorilla, they're dying. They're getting their head ripped off, getting their arm ripped off, ripped in half, whatever. They're dying. At least 20 dudes are dying, is what I'm saying. But I
So
still
it's kind
think
of like D-Day.
I still think 100 dudes could win, but at least 20 of them are definitely dying.
So it's like D-Day for the monkey men.
It might be because
That's an interesting thought.
that silverback gorilla has unlimited stamina, and I don't think he'd ever stop. That's why you have to.
No.
I thought about this a lot. I don't know if you noticed, but
Any
Yeah.
rules on weapons?
I think it's just bare hands.
Ooh,
It's just bare hands.
bare hands, huh?
Yeah,
100
dudes. And
100
the
dudes
specific
versus
post,
gorilla.
the specific post said 100 men versus one gorilla, and if you're part of the 100 men, you have to be basically ready to die. You have to be down with the shits. So, and I was telling Shelby this the other day. If they offered like $10 million per human that actually wanted to go try this, I think I actually would go try this.
To go fight a gorilla.
Be one of the 100 men to fight a gorilla. I would totally do that.
You would totally stand in the back and let the 20 get killed first.
Right, I would just have to be like number 30 in the
You'd be
line.
99.
You know what I mean?
You'd be 99. Don't lie.
That's probably. You're probably right.
Survival mode, bro.
I'll be number 100 in the very back.
Okay.
So yeah, okay, that's all I had.
I don't know. That was very interesting, Billy. I was quite intriguing, really.
So yeah, make sure you follow us on Facebook and YouTube.
Feel free to, if you're watching this on YouTube, comment below with your ideas of how that would end up.
Yeah.
Or how to help Billy with his own sanity.
Or some
Yeah.
other topic you'd like to see us address next week. All right.
Yeah.
Till that happens, for myself, Billy Teeters, Damian Bowers, John Sorg, and Mr. Dave Applegate, so long, folks, and we'll see you next week.
Congratulations, Julia and Caleb.